Most Northland musicians of the 60s credit their rock and roll epiphany moment to Elvis, the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and even the Ventures. Dick Winkler of Trinity Freak says it was local band The Dynamics that did it for him by raising a ruckus at a wedding reception.
And I asked my dad, "What's that?" He says, "Let's go see." So we went upstairs, and it was John Murray and the Dynamics setting up. And I got to see the show, and it blew my mind.
These guys call themselves the original homegrown. They were in local bands 50 to 60 years ago, but still get together to reminisce about young lives spent on stage and in the studio. They may not have become nationally or internationally famous like Bob Dylan and Gary Puckett of Hibbing, but some got close. John Murray and the Dynamics were the local backing band for visits from several big-time artists like Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Oh, they were remarkable, and they were just down to earth. I mean, wow. Baby love, and they were just beautiful people.
Dave Slattery and the band Yes It Is may not have gotten as big as the Rolling Stones from whom they took their name, but they still got a taste of the rock and roll life at a big Armory gig in North Dakota.
Oh, we signed autographs and, did the rock and roll thing.
According to David Lindemann of Chet Orr and the Rumbles, the late Rick Colborne's band was king of the region.
Oh, the rivals were the Titans. The Titans were a big group and had more records, and we only had one. And
getting a record out, even on a small label, was the dream of every group, even though quality was sometimes sketchy, as Tom Anderson of the Accidentals found out.
When we got the first records, they were pressed off center, plus the balance was terrible. You couldn't hear any of the vocals.
Most of those records were made in quantities of only 500 or so they have some collector value today.
Well, the most major 4 or 5 I could name would be Dirty Old Man by the Electras from Ely, Growing Pains from the Vaqueros up in Chisholm, Hibbing, and Surfer's Lullaby by the Lewis Titans.
Many of the homegrown rock bands of the 60s and 70s had short lives as real life lured the musicians towards other jobs.
Because we graduated from college and all went on our way, whether it's teaching and so forth, but in those 4 years we just had a great time.
Some, though, still play today, like Michael Scott of Trinity Freak, who has learned genres other than hard rock over the years.
And I play jazz, blues, funk guitar, some classical, even country and western. I can play country and western and stuff.
The small town sounds of the old days still flow over the airwaves when musicologist Minnesota Mike Chase plays them as part of the talk of the town on KDAL radio.
We get to play a little bit of the music, and we get the backstory of how they came together and famous events during their play day.
Holding on to rock and roll history in Duluth, Dave Anderson, Northern News Now.